I just wanted to compare the Gower. This is the Gower Killer Cali Plus compared to the Steve Stevens. You have endless options, knobs on the back. The Steve Stevens is more, you know, straight to the point. I have this on everything high gain settings with the gain knocked down. I gotta find the right volume because when I turn this off and turn that back on, the volumes have to match. That lacks a little body to it, but the thing is the more you turn these up, the more body that comes back into it. I don't know, I guess let's turn up like super high gain. The cabinet's a 73, stock speakers, stock greenback 73 cabinet. That gets pretty heavy. Let me unplug this in real time so I don't have to mess with the camera or anything. Sorry for seeing the back of me. This is really real time. So now we're going with the Steve Stevens. And we're going with going the regular, I guess, BE channel. I know there's like SS and SS Plus, but it's just BE and HBE. Here we go. Let me turn the volume up on this. That's just a standard, the SS side of it. You know, normal settings, nothing crazy here. Gains up around, I don't know, 230, I guess. And then let's switch it to the SS Plus. Get a little bit more hiss. You know the tubes being engaged in the gain circuit. So definitely not as much gain as the Gower. Let's try and get as much gain out of it as we can. Turn the bass up a little bit. I have the matching Steve Stevens cabinet. It's in a different room. I'm actually going to be getting rid of that as well. But this is more Marshall, true to Marshall flavor. This is really a plexi, a hot-rodded plexi. I didn't believe it at first. I thought this was something different. But after having this, that, I have Superleads and plexis over, you know, over on the other side. This really does react like a plexi cranked, but with the master volume to be able to control everything. It's pretty nice. It has a lot of control. It has those mids that Marshalls have. So here's back to the SS. To the SS channel, or SS Plus. Sounds really good. Sounds like an old Marshall should. And it's not noisy, and it has a really nice clean on it too. It's actually a really good amp. You know, now that we heard that, I'm only really diving into this because I'm getting rid of this amp. But let's see if we could dial the Gower in. Now, I don't think we're able to dial the Gower in here at all to sound like that. But theoretically, we should be able to. So let's push in all these knobs. Let's turn everything up at noon. We have the depth on the back, and you have violence, high and low. I guess we may have to mess with the violence, but I kind of keep that set in one position, like 1, 2 o'clock, and just leave it there and never touch it on high. And the depth, I just run straight up. Here's everything at noon. Let's see what we got with the gain stages pushed in. It's, you know, it doesn't sound the same. It doesn't sound as raw. It sounds more refined, but it sounds close. So let's mess with it a little bit. Let's see. Too much bass. Let's see how the mids do. I think the mid pot on the Steve Stevens is a higher value. It could be a lower value. It might be a 20. Actually, it might be a 25K mid pot in the Steve Stevens, and you have to crank the mids up more. So usually when I'm running my mids around here, kind of have to crank them here, but I don't know what mid pot's in this. This sounds more vintage Marshall. crank the gain stages to something reasonable. That's because the mid's up. Now if I drop the mids back to where I usually have them. That's interesting. Okay, so now if we pull the gain stages, which is where the Gower clearly wins, is we're going to get twice the amount of gain. That means that I'm going to have to readjust everything in here. So as you see, it gets a lot more. Now we can go really crazy with this. Everything's pulled, everything's out. There we go. I mean, it just has a lot more. I think it can get this. The Steve Stevens sounds clearly could do a lot more modern. But I do think it can get in that ballpark. So I don't really mind getting rid of that. Now the Steve Stevens, all Friedman amps. I mean, they're built well. They're nice, and they're not noisy, which is nice. This gets a little noisy when you go for it, but this has way more gain. If you put the gain comparable to the SS and the SS Plus, the noise level is probably the same. So that's that. And then I'm not going to hook up the 800, but the 800 is way more raw than any of these, way more raw and aggressive than any of these. It's its own thing. This gets more compressed, more smooth. It could do all of it. It could do old vintage plexi, I guess, with the mids up. It doesn't get super aggressive like raw. It gets aggressive compressed, not aggressive raw. That'll get you aggressive raw.